Okie dokie. So thank you for joining the City of Kingston's Arts Commission at our monthly meeting. Today is June 10th. My name is Adrielle Farr, Director of Art and Cultural Affairs for the City of Kingston and organizer for today's virtual meeting. Before we begin our meeting, we'd like to go over a few meeting guidelines to help us navigate this system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We ask that members of the public and press remain muted and off camera for the length of the meeting. As organizer, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. Commission members and city staff will control their own mute button. Good practice would be to mute yourself if you're not speaking to avoid background noise and feedback. All of our meetings are recorded. Both video and written transcriptions will be available to the public on the city's website at a later date. If you are not included on the agenda, please be respectful and courteous to our commission members by remaining muted. If you have any audio or technical difficulties, please send a text message to the following number, 845-399-9072. As the organizer for today's meeting, I reserve the right to lock and pause the meeting to eject anyone who's behaved inappropriately. Lastly, at tonight's meeting, we have in attendance Ann Bailey, Laura Giordano, Maria Elena Ferrer-Harrington, Ione, and Ward Mintz. Thank you for your patience during these difficult times, and on behalf of the City of Kingston, I wish you and your family good health. I now turn the floor over to Laura Giordano, who will call the meeting to order.
She'll just stay muted though.
I could just stay muted though. Yeah, I didn't realize this. Yes, please, let's call the meeting to order and let's start with the minutes. However, I was unable to find the minutes on the website, so I apologize.
I sent them in an email the other day. But if there's any issues with them, you can always just shoot me an email if you see any like typos or anything like that.
I trust everybody here, so if you all think that the minutes are okay, I would like to have a motion to accept them.
I so move.
Okay. Second.
Now I'll read them.
Yeah. Okay, so motion to accept, yes. Approved. Okay, the minutes are approved. Can everybody hear? Yeah, I have weird noises all over the place where I am. I apologize. Okay, so the agenda, then I just pulled that up. I'm sorry that I didn't realize I was going to be in charge. So there's that.
Don't worry about it. I have all of Susie's updates on this post-its. They will be brief.
Yeah, so well, okay, so if somebody, I'm not good at, I apologize for this. I'm not good at navigating the two windows. So I hope I don't lose you all, but I am going to go try to go back and get the agenda because I don't know what it looks like because
I have it right here. So I'm just going to copy it and put it into the chat. Does that help?
Thank you. That would help.
That's a great idea.
That would be
it might go a little funky just because it's from the Google.
Did you get my my email with a suggestion of maybe another agenda item?
I did not, Ward. Did you send it today or yesterday or?
Was it yesterday, Addie? It was about the Delgado article in the Daily Freeman. And
I got that. I didn't realize it was an agenda item.
I was suggesting, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I think we have plenty of space on the agenda. We can certainly add it to new business. It's a great idea. And I'm going to look at the chat. And I guess, is Garrett here from BARD?
Yeah, looks like he is, yes.
Hi, am I allowed to come on camera? I heard the rules and I
Yes.
just want to make sure I respect them. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, nice to
Garrett.
see you. Hello, I'm very excited to be here. I hope you all are well. I think it's been a couple months since I've been to this meeting, so I hope everything has been going well for the past couple of months. I'm excited. Is this my time in the meeting? Is that? Okay, great. I will.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
very much. I'm excited to share that at the Fisher Center at Bard, we are moving forward with Summerscape, and we are selling tickets very quickly, and we are excited to have folks return. There is one program in particular. We are hosting the Blackroot Summer Festival, which is part of a greater series of concerts that are happening at Bard's Montgomery Place campus, and we are bringing together 20 BIPOC musicians, artists, dancers, directors, choreographers together for this 2-week residency in July that will also have comprise 3 different concerts. And I'm really excited to share these all with you. So I'm going to share a document in here that outlines sort of some of our goals with this concert series and with this residency. And second.
I already bought tickets to Flutterby.
Oh, fantastic. That's very exciting.
So I am seeing that you're up to things, and I'm really excited to see live performances again. And
We are very excited too.
we need it. We're really out of shape.
Yes. So I'm having a little bit of trouble sharing this in the chat. So I think if I can just share screen, I can sort of go through, and thank you, Addie, for giving me the co-host permission. I'm very excited. So the residency is from the concert. Well, the residency is before July 23rd, but the first concert is the 23rd. And it runs through the 31st of July. It is curated by jazz vocalist Michael Mwenzo and curator, producer Gianna Gasparo, both of whom met each other at Jazz at Lincoln Center and have a really wonderful history where they now have their own production company, and it's very exciting. These are the 3 different concerts we are presenting. The first is an explosion of ideas, sounds, joy, healing, love. Love will be the only weapon, featuring Mwenzo and the Shakes. The second concert is a retrospective of the pianist Mary Lou Williams, and which we're very excited about. And the final is an Afrofuturistic reimagining of Rodgers and Hammerstein's The Sound of Music, titled The Sound of Black Music. And we're very excited about all 3 of these concerts. They're going to really round out a very exciting residency. One thing that the artists have desire to do while they are here on campus is lead some events with different members of various communities in the Hudson Valley. And there's a couple of ideas I just wanted to propose, and I think there's some alignment here. I'm looking at you, Ione, for potentially forging a relationship with a couple of the theater directors in the residency to maybe lead something with Ministry of Mott. So that's one immediate thing that I want to share. So like I said, possible collaborations with the artists are healing circles for Black and Brown women, facilitated by artist activist Sharifa Ali and Camilla Long. Also, Michael Mwenzo, one of the curators, is interested in leading community listening circles, specifically with youth. We're also thinking about dance workshops with the choreographer Naila Ansari, and also the dancers in the program. And, with outside of, these events that are part of the residency, also just organizing transportation and ticketing for members of different community organizations to attend the Blackroot Summer Concerts at Montgomery Place. So we're very excited about all these possibilities, and I would love to forge kind of relationship that feels appropriate, and would love any insights. I mean, I mentioned Ministry of Mott, Ione, and I think that this would be a really beautiful connection. So if you want to talk about that, that might be good.
Well, it sounds wonderful. When would the community collaborations be happening? What's the time frame?
At the end of July. So I think between this time frame is when they happen. So between July 23rd and the 31st.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty fast.
Yes.
But certainly I'd love to discuss it with you and see what could get cooked up.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah.
we could meet. I also there's a couple of people who might be interested in, you might be interested in connecting with the, there's a woman named Jaguar Mary who's doing some very, very interesting LGBTQ events and theater in the sense of duration elements and some very interesting things. Maybe introduce you to her and to what's happening there. Yeah. But yes, let's talk.
Fabulous. And I will, I think I can follow up and we can hopefully get a conversation scheduled. I know that Michael Muenzo and Jana Gasparo are both very, very excited and eager to have these conversations, and they can definitely be part of them. And potentially we could even loop in Sharifa and Camilla, who are both the two women who would be leading these healing circles. And any of the other artists that are listed here or would be involved with these, we can definitely try to make that happen. So I'm excited to discuss that further. And also I would, gratefully appreciate if there's any knowledge from this committee, from this commission about any other organizations looking at these collaborations of places that might be a natural alignment. And if not, that's totally great as well.
Well, I think if you could, you have my email?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, good. Okay. And I'm thinking Kit should be involved or would be interested in something as well in terms of, well, we have Juneteenth coming up. There's some interesting things coming about, and then we have Rising from the Ashes, which is a tribute to African American people in Kingston in the 18th, 17th, 18th centuries and beyond. So I think that between all of us, some interesting and powerful things could be happening.
Wonderful. And there's really, it's a really exciting, collaboration of artists, many of whom are working together for the first time. And I think that because of that, I think there's, we don't want to, we also want to give all these folks time to prepare for the concerts and rest. But I think looking at I think a few events during their time for the residency, I know there is interest. And the good thing is that I think with the amount of artists that are part of this residency, that there will not be overlap so that no one will be too tired out while here. It's definitely something that we're really sensitive to. So I think I really, really appreciate those suggestions, and we'll look to see, I'll share this with Michael and Jono and see, if any of these things are feeling, other natural alignments there.
Great.
Yeah.
So I had a question about just getting youth there from this area. You just talked about, transportation or tickets. I mean, what does that mean?
I don't know exactly. I know that we have done this before with CCE. We've had Ron K. Brown, who's a choreographer based in Brooklyn, did choreographed Grace and Mercy for Summerscape 2019. And I know that he did a workshop at CCE, and then I believe it was reciprocal, and then CCE students came to the Fisher Center to do a workshop there. And then we also offered transportation and tickets for some of the students that had taken that workshop to then come see the performance. Admittedly, I think that it was less students than expected. So I think it would definitely require some, some planning. And with the timeline, it's, it is very soon. Right. Okay. But I think we could maybe, I think it's something, well, it's a dream, but yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions for Garrett? Garrett, I want to tell you, I actually still have those broadsheets up because every day people look at them again and again and again and again. And I get so many comments, and, they're just been so inspiring for so many people. Like, I can't bring myself to take them down.
That's
so
amazing.
I want to thank you for that. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for sharing them. It's really fantastic to see them out in the world like that and on display. And I think that was really one of the goals of the project, and it's really exciting to see that, have actually been a reality. It's very
It
exciting.
has. And I, because I can see through our windows and people stop all the time again and again and again and see more and more. So it's really great. Okay, so unless we have any other questions, Garrett, we put you at the beginning so that you wouldn't have to stay through the whole meeting.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, if you don't, if you don't mind.
Oh, I mean, I really appreciate that. I think I will head out, and it's been a long
Uh-huh.
day, but I really, really appreciate you taking the time to hear about this. And I look forward to, forging some relationships with some of you and also some of the many other wonderful arts organizations in Kingston and the Hudson Valley. I'm very excited.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, take
Hey.
care.
See you.
All right, so here we are again, and I'm back to the chat. And so I guess the second, well, I don't know, it says Todd Samara project on here. I don't see the second piece, but Lynn's not here. I don't know if there's anyone else here that wanted to speak to that. I know that so I think we can hear about that later. I know they're in the process of collecting nominations, but so we'll move on. The master plan for the arts, next steps. Addie, do we have any report on what's going on with the master plan?
Yes. So I got the first draft a little while ago, and I do think that we just want to tweak some things before we share out. I thought it looked pretty, it looks pretty awesome. I do think we are going to need to get some more images because I think they've kind of used some of the images. We've seen them before. So I'm going to be putting out an email tomorrow to the KAC PAC, just asking folks if they have some new images or anything that they want to share. I know we were talking a little bit to the county in-person house and just seeing if they had any like artifacts or paintings or anything that we could kind of include in there to just, give them a variety of things. We want to see humans, we want to see faces, but also cool to just have some other kinds of images in there just to kind of paint a full picture. So that's coming along. We did, just start as we kind of got to take those strategies and those task force workbooks and turn them into more of like a narrative readable structure. Been working through just going over all of those ideas with the mayor and like fleshing some things out, adding some more specificity, which I think is always a good thing. So that's been a really kind of fun part of the project, is just taking all of the amazing ideas everyone came up with and just kind of stretching them more and adding even more to the strategies plan. So that's really exciting. I do, like I said, I want to take our time with this. I don't want to rush it. I want this to be something that when you're getting a chance to take a look at it, it's considered, it's in a good place. So we're just taking our time, but also just being mindful of taking, making sure that we're not taking too much time. So we are moving along, and we're going to be setting up a meeting with the Arts Commission and the Project Advisory Committee in the end of June. I think our date is the 28th for now, where we're going to just present where we're at with the draft. So next steps are, of course, coming up with our strategy for the public presentation and moving forward. So I think we're in a really good position. So looking forward to being able to get that draft into everyone's hands. But that's where we're at so far.
Okay. I'm just curious, on the 28th, that's a Monday.
Yes.
It's coming up very soon. Everything seems like it's coming up soon because we're in such a transition time right now.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to actually, if I'm supposed to be there, I need to put it in my calendar.
Yeah. So we just
And,
have to. Sorry, go ahead.
So do you expect it to be during the day or in the evening or?
During the day for sure. I have like 3 different times that they suggested. Let me see if I can find it now, just to give you a heads up on that. So we're looking at 1 to 2 on the 28th of June. So yeah, I'll be sending out that information shortly once we I think that's the time we're going to go with. We had a few other ones that we were discussing as well.
Okay. So that's kind of around lunchtime. So that sounds very good.
Yeah.
Any
I'm
other
excited.
questions or comments? I mean, it seems like it's kind of just doing its thing.
Yeah, this part is the part that is like, you know, as I've been talking to all the other city folks who have done plans, they're like, yep, you're in the final push. It's kind of, it feels kind of similar to when we were doing the RFP. It was just like, okay, we're almost there, we're almost there. So just kind of cruising along. And there are a few other planning projects that are getting started right now. So it's been really kind of fun to watch other people get started on their plans and just being like, oh yes, I remember when we were selecting people versus now and we're just going, you know, analyzing each sentence and, you know, adding everything in. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to sharing it with y'all. I think it's coming together really well.
Okay, very good. All right, so then moving along, have we heard anything from, well, Susie's not here, but have we heard anything or do we know anything about our Mellon application? Those 300
Yes.
words?
The words are in. Susie said the application submitted and that it will be about a month approximately before they'll get back in contact with us and let us know what they think. So that application is submitted. And then I also heard that the Kingston Library has sent in the deposit for the Harriet Tubman sculpture, just to kind of zoom through. So we do have the Harriet Tubman sculpture secured. Our deposit is set. The only thing is that there is a little bit of conversation that the Kingston Library wants to have about the contract and just to just have a conversation about like who should be signing it. There was just some back and forth about whether it should be the Kingston Library that signs it. The Kingston Library is also totally open to the statue being displayed elsewhere. They feel like even though they've put forward the funding for the deposit, they're totally open to it being displayed somewhere else. So, you know, the Deep Listening Plaza was a suggestion and they thought that sounded great. They're also more than happy to have the sculpture there. So that's where they're at with that.
So when do we want to have that discussion about where it should go and, you know, make our recommendation? It seems like a pretty important thing to do, no?
Yeah. Well, we have some time. So we have the sculpture reserved. So now we don't have to worry as much about like, are we going to get it when we want to have it? So I might suggest that at the next commission meeting, when more folks are here, we have a little bit of a longer conversation about that. And I might ask Margie or another representative from the Kingston Library to join us. Just so that we can have that conversation about what makes the most sense.
It would be useful to know what the dimensions are of the base too.
Yeah.
What the base is like. I mean, I don't really have an idea.
Yeah. We can ask Susie to have some of that info ready for us at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yay.
So that's all I have for that. And then the only other thing Susie wanted me to mention was just that our distinguished artist is starting up her event that she is hosting as part of her Kingston Distinguished Artist duties. Laura Hope is having a virtual concert series and she did receive her stipend, and big thank you to Mad for helping facilitate that. So she's received her stipend. And she is going to be using those funds to help plan or just, you know, kind of deal with some costs associated with this concert series. It's showcasing all local Kingston musicians, lots of different genres represented there. I was really excited to see the lineup because I was like, oh, like lots of friends and familiar names. So it's going to be a virtual concert series happening the next 2 Thursdays of June. And she's running that in partnership with Kingston Happenings. So they're helping with promotion, and Ulster Savings, I believe, is their exclusive sponsor. So just wanted to keep you up to date that our distinguished artist is very much, I think she's doing an incredible job, especially during the time putting together a community event that's going to bring together folks and showcase more Kingston artists. So that's the Distinguished Artist Update.
Wow, that's good. I think I saw that listed. So I'm glad
Yep.
that's part of the whole thing. All right, so then moving on to, well, we don't have a lot more. I wanted to talk, Maria Elena, I'm going to ask you to talk about the mask. We have a little show up at the draw right now, and it was a culmination of a workshop that Maria Elena taught, and it came in sponsorship with Arts Mid-Hudson. And so I'm going to ask you to talk to it a little bit, Maria Elena.
Thank you, Lara. Can I share the screen, Adi? If is that possible? Okay. Well, let me see if I can do that. This is gonna be quick, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the images. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a workshop that we did with the Draw, Arts Mid-Hudson, and the initiative of the Kingston Latino Study. This is basically an experiment, or our first, more than an experiment, is just to see how the community react to the programming that is very different to what we are used to have. So basically these masks were inspired on the Dancing Devils of Venezuela, that is my country of origin. We have a beautiful group of intergenerational, intercultural women heroes from Kingston, from 10 to 62 years old. And you can see the process of making the mask. I have to say that none of them has a background in arts or anything. None of them had worked with clay before, and only one of them worked with papier mâché before this. So it was quite a challenge, but also you can see that it was very productive. They were definitely very creative, and they were up to the challenge, to the point that I wanted to make a more simple mask, but they went all the way to make it as complicated as they could. And they work more than we were expecting to do. This was a workshop that was scheduled to happen in 4 sessions, and we ended having 6 sessions, but they were more than happy to come for the extra time, complete them, to paint them. I have to say that I only have to give them some technical advice, but they decided the shape, they decided the colors, they decided how they wanted to do them. And you can see that we have a very diverse sample of masks that you can enjoy definitely at the window of the draw. There is the installation, how it looks like from the window. There is also a brief explanation of the tradition of the Dancing Devils and how old it is. And a little bit, I squeeze my last artist book there also, that is commemorating the Dancing Devils. So anyway, so there is another view. It's just that with the reflex on the glass, it's hard to get a picture. But I hope that before we uninstall, we can just turn them and take better pictures, because I couldn't take better pictures from the window. So I'm pleased to stop by, because they are going to be there until the end of the month, of the beginning of July. And I really hope this is just the first of many activities. The next workshop that we're going to do with the Kingston Latino Study and Arts Mid-Hudson is going to be on Mexican embroidery. And we are waiting for a confirmation on the venue, because it's not confirmed yet, but it's going to happen this summer before the exhibition that Word is curating for the Rio Center on September, if I remember correctly. So thank you very much.
Mhm. Yeah, Ward.
When the participants were working on these objects, did they acquire magical powers?
I guess so, because, I told them, listen, these are, we started the workshop. I prepare like a multimedia um, presentation, that they were exposed to the music, to the dance, and to the tradition itself. So they knew what we're going into, or what was our inspiration. So I guess that they got too inspired, because I told them, let's keep it simple, because it's the first time, we don't know how it's gonna work. And no, they didn't want to keep it simple, as you can see. So, but it was definitely challenging. Two of them became even competitive. They were trying to, it was interesting, because it was sort of like a fun competition. They were not trying to, to undermine each other, but it was like, oh, if you do that, I'm going to do it too. And now I'm going to do it more. So it was quite interesting. It was quite interesting. And something that also surprised me the most is that the youngest in the group, that it was 10-year-old, was the one that made 3 masks. So she was the most productive, and also one of the most complicated masks was one of hers. So it was a beautiful experience. I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks wonderful. It's really wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, well, and thank you. It was great for us too, and it was so exciting to Maria Elena has brought the bilingual piece to it, although that one was supposed to be all in Spanish, and it was kind of still a little bit bilingual, but it was really fun to walk in and out and just hear language, flying all over, and in this creative energy, which is great. And anyway, thank you.
Yeah, we keep it bilingual because one of our students was not a Spanish speaking person, so she was trying to learn with us. So it was interesting also to bring the 2 languages in the workshop.
Yes, well, thank you. So I think that we'll move on, and Ward, we have plenty of time to talk about this Delgado. I put it in, I don't know if other people had gone through the link and had read the article, but I did put it here, so if people, it's in the chat if people wanted to look at it. It was I've been getting all of this kind of stuff, but I'm just curious, what's your take on it, Ward? From the draw perspective, like I look at it and I go, where can I get money?
It seemed to me that when I read this headline, and I know that in other cities, arts organizations have been very fortunate in getting coronavirus relief funds. And when I saw that that Ulster County will have flexibility in spending the $6 to $8 million, I thought, well, arts organizations really need this money.
Yeah.
And do we know anything about what the plan is, or if there is a plan? And is it something that where we need to organize and either say to the mayor, can you go to the county executive, and because we have X number of arts organizations, and we need, this takes a little work though. We need approximately, I'm making this figure up, $1.2 million, for relief funds, and can we get that? And then of course, because of Peter's involvement, in the legislature, it would seem that he would be a natural to bring this to the county as well. But I think that there needs to be, I don't know what has been done so far, and it would seem to me there needs to be organization. I don't know what the schedule is, but I wanted to bring it to us first because I knew we were going to be meeting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Ward, yeah, we should know about it for sure. The details. I was going to mention that I'd received from the Foundation for Contemporary Arts the Bridge Fund, which is for individual artists, and it's only it's $1,000 emergency money. So it seems to be coming kind of without knowing who they're picking to send it to, but I've received it, and they're encouraging not to disseminate it to others, but to apply if you want to. It's interesting. Yeah.
Addie, do you know anything about any organizing that's going on about this?
I don't think that there's any organizing around it. They're going to have to come up with a system for allocations. So that's probably going to be a system, if it follows the tracks of any other kinds of government funding, it's probably going to be a situation that's going to be application based. There's probably going to be a few organizations that are probably going to get some funding without necessarily having to apply for it. I think Community Development Block Grant is probably a good model that's going to be followed. We kind of have a system for how we do allocations. I think having a letter or scheduling a meeting with the mayor to talk about the importance of the arts is a great thing for the Arts Commission to do. I think it'd be really wise just to remind folks that, you know, we have a specific sector that's really been affected by COVID. So maybe, you know, we had Lilia join us at one of our previous meetings to discuss some of the information that they had sourced from their applications and just some information they had on impact. So maybe we could touch base with Lilia again and just see if she has any numbers we could add to that just to help bolster the case. But I think now's a moment for, you know, to think about roles as advocates and for champions for the arts. This is a perfect moment to localize the kind of support we need.
Do you think that, how should I put this? Addie, do you want to be in touch with Peter to see what his perspective on this is?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
And also, is it worthwhile to contact Delgado's office to find out anything? Or I know nothing about how his office works or whether.
I mean, it's not worth a shot to do that. I think in terms of follow-up, just thinking about kind of like the hierarchies and the chain of command, I think that reaching out directly will probably get us an answer. But I think in terms of really like wanting to have that audience, I think if we kind of navigate it through, you know, having the mayor act as our advocate, and especially with the county, you know, just reinforcing the county doesn't have a department dedicated to the arts. So I think it'll be a little challenging there. So I really think that just kind of layering that, I think would be really helpful, but I'm definitely not opposed to just like seeing if there's a open line of communication at Delgado's office just to see what their plan is. So happy to do that and see if we can get some information.
Great, thank you. I think it's it seems to me like it's real money, you know, and why not get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, I've gotten recently, Maria Elena, you sent it to me, and I guess also Ruth Ann, you know, the New York State's opening up all this money through, you know, the community CFP, you know, those huge, the portal, okay?
Right.
CFA.
There's tons of stuff in the portal. It's very, even just reading the amount of things there. There's stuff for workforce development, there's stuff for the arts, you know, it wasn't a lot about the arts, but I think that it sounded like CDBG, and some of this money, it sounded like it's going to go through that kind of local distribution, you know, regional distribution.
I think we have to carve out a place for the arts, you know, in all of this.
Yeah. So for CFA, I mean, that was kind of an interesting thing when the CFA guidelines went up. There really wasn't anything for the arts in there. Generally, they have kind of a whole section. NISCA still hasn't updated us on what's going to be happening there. We know it's going to be different this year. I think, you know, one of the things that, you know, we struggle with as people kind of allocating government funds is that it's just like, this is the time to update a system that is just so rigid. And anytime we're changing anything, it's just like, and money is the thing that is the most closely monitored. So I'm hoping I'm hoping that the reason why it's taking them a little bit of time to release this information and kind of let us know what's happening is because they're trying to simplify the system. I think anyone who has applied for a CFA or any kind of grants like that knows that it is just, it's brutal. So I'm really hoping that that's kind of the energy there. So I think they said that it was going to be happening around this time. So just kind of waiting to know what that information is going to be. And yeah, when I looked over the CFA, there was like some stuff that you could like kind of pitch if you wanted to attach arts onto something else. So yeah, I think it would be a really great idea for us to just try to secure some funding, especially because, so much of the conversation during the pandemic was like this focus on emergency services, which of course we understand, but now that we're kind of coming out of that kind of crisis mode, I think it's time to kind of assess, look at sectors, look at individuals, look at organizations that are, took a hit, and make sure that we bolster them up because things are going to be changing. So want to make sure that we keep the resources we need funded and here for post-COVID. Let me know what you need me to do.
And no offense to the organization I'm about to mention, because I know Anne will kill me, but I just don't want to end this thing with UPAC getting the money and no one else.
Yeah, I can understand that there are some organizations who have had access to funding. We want to make sure that those who maybe haven't had that access are able to access that too. So I think that's completely fair. So I think, next steps would maybe be to think about, how we want to go about. I think scheduling a meeting with the mayor is very reasonable. Arts Commission, that's kind of what we're here to do, is to advise. So you all can let me know how you want to go about that. If you want to do a written communication, we are having in-person meetings here at the city, not like public meetings, but we're able to do that. So if you just want to communicate with me about what you'd like to do, I'm happy to help out.
I think having the information from Lilia, the statistics first, would be incredibly helpful. In other words, or the number of the budgets of all the arts organizations, in Ulster County are that sort of thing. And if she has any information about how they suffered, because of COVID and inability to put on performances in person, all of that, have visitors in their galleries, etc.
I also have a question. We've worked on the master plan, and I know the master plan isn't ready and we're not going to unveil it, but we do have a lot of information that we've collected, toward that end. And also, the surveys and the priorities, which are, getting, manipulated so that they work in a master plan. But that is also, I think, really significant information that we can use when we're addressing. So is there kind of I don't know, it's all over the place. Is there a concise place that we can gather, some responses that we, got from those, we created task forces, I know it's all these different things, but
I think the thing that would probably be helpful from the master plan is less about like the individual responses and more just about things like quantities of arts organizations. Like if we were to say, like, we know, like, okay, we have over 300 different arts entities in Kingston. So
in
that
Kingston
kind of
alone,
helps. Like that helps kind of bolster. So maybe like that's the data we can take, because we have plenty of that, that I think is totally easy to pull some numbers out and just use that. I mean, again, I think a combination of some sort of written document that folks can reference to is always really helpful. But yeah, I think just reaffirming, giving people like the mayor, giving people like the county executive some key numbers and some information just to help them advocate will help educate them on the issue, and will probably help them think about that as they're structuring their plans for allocations. But like I said, I do think that, just kind of seeing how relief has been allocated previously, I can definitely, I have a feeling that it's probably going to be something more application based. There's going to be a lot to go through, I think. You know, kind of like the PPP stuff, like there was quite a bit to go through to make that happen. So I sense that will probably be the way we go about it.
Mhm. Right, but we have to have them, what we're advocating for is to have programs for us to apply to as artists, as opposed to that big old thing we
Right.
got, which is all about workforce development, but not even, you know, nothing about the arts. So you can tie something into it, but it's not specific to the arts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And, you know, maybe also taking a moment too, just to kind of reaffirm as well, to have them thinking about things like diversity, equity, and inclusion as they're doing the allocations here. You know, this could be a moment where we could see some, you know, interesting things happen. So just reminding folks that, you know, and I think again, our, you know, leaders have, you know, really started to kind of understand that narrative, but anywhere that we can reinforce that, this is a moment where some folks could really get some assistance that they need. And we know that different communities have been affected in different ways from the pandemic. So definitely think that if we can include some language just about being mindful of, you know, how diversity, equity, and inclusion impacts how we allocate funding, I think would be a really good just reminder, as I always love to add that in there. We're really just like swimming. Yeah, okay. That sounds good. So yeah, I think I do think too our other commission members are probably going to be interested in helping support this conversation as well. So I think, yeah, just we'll get that information from Lily. I'll send her an email and see if she can send over anything kind of concise, and I'll see what I can pull from the master plan. I think there are a few little data points that would really help our point.
And that commission member who runs that organization, Artsman Hudson, I think she also has a relationship with that county executive.
Yeah, I think that might be a good moment, good thing to bring up. So yeah, all right, cool. I will send out some feelers.
Thank you.
Sure.
All righty. So, and we're gonna have to do that, you know, in the next couple of weeks, really. I mean, really fast, because they're gonna start allocating it and already deciding where it goes for it. I'd be interested in helping out with that too. So is there anything else that a new business or something that didn't get on the agenda that I missed? Yes, I own.
I can get one of those T-shirts for myself. I'm muted. Yeah, I sent out a little film that was created by the artists who were doing the Witness in the area at different locations. Anyway, I sent it out to everyone to look at your leisure. We were continuing to involve also several people, actually, even though it was torrential rain. There were versions of that piece happening throughout Kingston. So it was pretty interesting. So anyway, you can enjoy that if you like, and that will be, we're hoping for another date in the summer when it's not raining at Deep Listening Plaza to renew it. So I also want to thank everybody for birthday wishes. I'm just so moved and delighted to be with you, to be here. Yeah, thank you. So feels like through the looking glass, that weekend was like we were being purified in some way to begin things anew, perhaps. You know, that felt really good. So thanks, everyone.
I missed the birthday. I was not feeling well, but I'm glad you're here and you're still here and you're still doing these beautiful things in Kingston. So I have one little bit of new business, but it's kind of, anyway, I am going to be stepping down from the commission. I just don't have the capacity. I haven't been super active, and I just feel like I don't have the capacity to become more. And so I am going to stay, I guess, until a replacement. However, I have asked Lindsay Wolkowitz, who is my partner in crime here lately, one of my partners in crime, the other one's sitting right there, to apply. And I know that it's up to the mayor and it's up to everybody else, but if you haven't met Lindsay, I think you'd be interested in meeting her, but I think that she would be a great voice. She's super smart and creative. And she also is new to O Positive and would maybe provide a really beautiful bridge for O Positive onto the commission. It's just my thought. And I know I don't have any control over that, but I have asked her to apply. So, I'm not gonna miss these Zoom meetings, and if we had been doing this in person, it might have been a little bit different, but I can't take this anymore. And I need to be on the ground and doing things. And I am, we're very lucky. Mad and Draw have gotten a beautiful pump in the arm through foundation money. And we're hoping to really kind of make the most of it and grow over the next year. So that's where I'm going to be putting most of my energy. But you can call on me. I'm really good. I rarely say no to things, but although I'm getting better at it, so I take that back. Anyway, I loved y'all. It's been great, but and I'll be here until we have a replacement.
I'm crying.
Well, Ward, now you're going to have to over me for martinis, and that'll be more fun.
Oh, now you're talking. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually, Lara, I'm actually in a similar place because my term is up and it will be in the fall, but I have actively found a replacement as well. I've been, hitting the streets and looking and thinking who would be a great addition to the Arts Commission. And it's Lisa Kelly. And so for those that don't know Lisa, she is really firmly planted in our community and also well loved across the boards and is growing. She's young and we need that aspect on our commission. One thing that MAD gets criticized for in terms of diversity, that we're a bunch of old people. So, I'm always thinking of mentoring and bringing the next generation along, and certainly Lisa represents that. But in so saying, of course, it's up to the mayor. But I just, for those of you that don't know her, she is rising in our community and has been so closely aligned with Ione, so I don't need to tell Ione anything about Lisa.
Well, I would like to, suggest her as well. And I was thinking, I'm sure my term must be up as well. So that might be good.
I think the really important thing for all of us to think about is a really vital and energized commission. And in saying that, when you think about stepping down and stepping away, think of a replacement. Think about someone that you would like to bring along on this journey. And I think Lara's suggestion is a great one for Lindsay. She's been wonderful and is a great community member, but all of us need to be thinking about that next generation. That's all I have to say.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, I hope that this is not like the beginning of an stampede or something like that, right?
No,
I was like, it's an exodus. Well, I just wanted to say, it's I understand, whenever folks want to transition or focus on different things, it's been an incredible honor and pleasure serving the Arts Commission, working with all of y'all. So I really appreciate as you're thinking of transitioning, that you have other folks in mind that you want to suggest, but just want to thank you all for all the work that you've done. You are incredible folks. And I just, emotions, but I'm very happy to have had this experience with you, Laura. Thank you so much. You are incredible.
Yeah, well, I'm tired.
It's like, okay, enough.
Okay, well, anyway, unless there is any other business, I'm gonna say goodbye. Okay, so would somebody like to call this meeting? Well, I'll call this meeting to an end, and who wants to second it?
I second.
All righty, so all in favor? Yay! Okay, so be it. We will see you